All right, welcome back to Midday. We are talking confidence, hockey confidence, sporting confidence with Isabelle Hamptonstone. Thanks for being here, Isabelle.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
You wrote, you're of course the author of Hockey Confidence, a fantastic book, really training the brain to think positively and gaining confidence in those elite athletes. And that's your profession. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So when I'm working with an athlete, particularly at this time of year, I get a lot of hockey players that say, you know, I'm really looking forward to getting out onto the ice. And you can hear the excitement in their voice. Yeah. And you get the feeling of they're just getting lifted up at the thought of playing hockey. But sometimes you get the hockey players where at the beginning of the season, you really listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. And sometimes you just get the feeling that they're actually getting stressed. Mm-hmm. They're getting anxious. They're worried about their performance. And that can be pretty tough. And you can use various resources. You can work with someone like me. You can go to a book. But sometimes what really helps is a daily mindset tip specifically written for your sport. And if those resources are free of charge, I believe that, you know, that's a great way to give back to the hockey community. Because it was being asked to work with the Kamloops Blazers years ago that connected me through to working with players in the AHL and NHL now. So it's always nice to just say, hey, thanks, community. Yeah. Thanks for teaching me about hockey. Thanks for bringing me in. Thanks for all the support. Hey, maybe this can help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that is where your expertise lies. And I can't imagine it's very easy to train the brain, but what are some of the things that you would do? You know, if a hockey player was sitting here and he or she was stressed, I mean, what would you say? I mean, that seems like a broad question, Isabelle, but I mean...
Let me see how long I got.
No, wait a minute. Do we have the rest of the show to talk to Is?
I love that. So there's a couple of things you can do straight away. If you're struggling with something, particularly in hockey, there's a good chance that somebody you know has gone through that already. Now, when I encourage my players to ask for help, they say, well, you know, sometimes it's really hard to admit that we're struggling. So
but they face crazy pressure.
They certainly do. Yeah. And there's a way you can get around this uncomfortable feeling of asking for help, which is ask for advice, right? Immediately when I ask you for advice, it elevates you in my eyes because you're giving me a solution, and it also means that I'm reaching out and I'm being proactive and I'm taking responsibility for finding out what is my next step that I need to get to reach the goals that I want to achieve.
So this is the start of the hockey season. As Bill and I were chatting earlier in the show, of course, the Blazers tomorrow night.
Yes.
So this is a nervous time, I'm sure, for many athletes, hockey players especially. Kickstarting the season, though, you want to kickstart it off right with the proper mindset. Yeah. And is that sort of where you are right now? I mean, this is a busy fall season for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It started back with NHL players back in July. The WHL guys are starting to get in touch now. And it is a busy time. And what I think we're getting a deeper understanding of is that some of our players at the beginning of the season are mentally heavy even before they've stepped out onto the ice. It's as if they're dragging a heavy weight behind them. And you can see it as you're speaking with them, and they're doing their best, and sometimes they just think, I'll work harder, I'll get through this, and sometimes what they need to do is work smarter and develop new strategies for being truly successful when they perform.
I know we have some pictures, Isabelle, we'll throw to these. These are some of the fantastic quotes that many who you've worked with have said. Since working with Isabelle, my average game points have more than tripled, with an increase of over 375%. Of course, this from Nolan Neenan, the Kamloops Blazers. And yeah, I mean, you've really, I think, helped a lot of people, Isabelle, and Mark Recchi, a huge fan of you and your book. But is it understanding how to build confidence? Because I feel like you can tell somebody, you know, gain some confidence, but understanding how to do that is really not an easy thing, I would imagine.
Absolutely. When I first started out, I developed techniques that rapidly increased focus, confidence, and self-control by revisiting events that really set up behavioral triggers. And those techniques were so powerful that they got trademarked very quickly. And I feel that we need a combination of good advice plus expertise in releasing triggers that really stop us from performing. And those triggers specifically are triggers around stress and overwhelm.
And this is not just for hockey, for any sporting or any athlete of any kind, right?
Sure, yeah.
Great. Thanks, Isabelle. You're fantastic as always. Lots of great tips from Isabelle. Check out her book, Hockey Confidence. And if you'd like to get a hold of Isabelle, hockeyconfidence.ca and braintrainwin.com. Got a couple of websites there for you. Thanks for being here. We'll be right back. Stay with us.